There is so much to do and see in Dying Light 2 that it's hard to get to all of it. But there's even more than that. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the 10 best Easter eggs and secrets in Dying Light 2. There is an extensive amount of stuff to get to, so let's just get going with number 10. The first thing we want to talk about today is the flying broomstick. Near the top of the VNC tower, you can find a big crane. So complete the VNC tower mission, like fully complete it and return to it, carefully climb to the very top. Or like if you can just glide to the top of it, that's easier if you can pull it off. But if you look closely, up there you can find a single UV mushroom. If you interact with it, more mushrooms appear. Keep interacting with it, like repeatedly, and this is going to take a while, so be patient, but eventually it stops growing and it'll give you a prompt for a new parkour challenge. This one's called the Baba Yaga challenge. It's based off the mythical Slavic witch. So you fly a broomstick through checkpoints. And yeah, it is fairly simple, but it is a lot of fun. They put a ton of extra effort into this one. Like, you can fly between these floating islands. There's a new music track. Like, it's overall extremely fun and a great little bonus. Having full flight control really takes some getting used to, though, especially after you've really gotten used to gliding, having to have done that the entire game. But once you get the hang of it, it's not like particularly challenging. But the fact that they included an entirely new movement mechanic hidden away on an Easter egg is a fantastic example of how elaborate and awesome some of these secrets are. It's great. At number 9 is a weapon from Cyberpunk 2077. Another one you need to get to the top of the VNC tower to access. So get used to seeing that, because a lot of these Easter eggs are related to the VNC tower in some way. But once again, ride the elevator up, paraglide at this random building. It's near the developer room. You meet this one guy called the Liquidator. He's kind of just randomly standing on the ledge. He's going to talk a while. This guy has got so much to say, and a lot of it just doesn't matter. It's nonsense. But he does mention Kyle Crane, the protagonist from the first Dying Light, and he mentioned some other stuff like that he's an agent for LDPD. If you think it's foreshadowing or that he's some important character, forget about that. If you want to know what LDPD stands for, it's Level Design Police Department, which is entirely a developer in-joke. So basically this guy's just a goofy joke meant to confuse the player. You talk to him, he disappears, but he does leave you a gift. A good gift at that. Blueprints for the Cyber Hands 2177, which is a joke weapon based off the Mantis blades from Cyberpunk. They do look a lot like them, but just a little more post-apocalyptic and crappy. And even though the damage isn't great, they seem to pretty much always do electrical damage. So in the right situation, that can be very useful. And number 8 is some secret Mario shoes. Probably one of the best Easter eggs in the first Dying Light was World 1-1 from Super Mario Bros., which also contained a blueprint for a hover suit that let you glide like Mario's raccoon suit. This one's not quite as elaborate as that one, but it does get you a Super Mario move. This one coming a little bit later in the series, Super Mario 64, is where this move exists. If you look around the Big Bandit camp in the Lower Dam Ire section of the map, you can see this cargo container attached to a crane. If you manage to get inside, there's a special pair of shoes that, when you jump 3 times in succession, will end in Mario doing a full-blown Mario triple jump with a flip at the end. Like, exactly like Mario does in his 3D debut. Aiden even does a little laugh when you do it, which kind of sounds a little like Mario's noises when he jumps. It's very silly, but it's also a lot of fun to screw around with. At number 7 is the hoverboard. If you can manage to reach a room hidden on the St. Thomas, the Apostle Church on St. Paul Island, there's a hoverboard propped up against the wall. There's also a message you can find that was left by Tolga and Fenton, characters from the first Dying Light, confirming they survived and are apparently still around. Or maybe it's an old message, I don't know. Once you interact with the hoverboard, then these footsteps appear. When you use your survivor sense, you just follow them until you find another hoverboard, and then another. 4 in total. You find the last one and you can play a secret hoverboard minigame, which is just a very difficult parkour challenge where you have to navigate the hoverboard through a dangerous landmine-filled obstacle course. Compared to the broomstick challenge, it's actually brutally difficult. You got to navigate these narrow wooden poles, and it can be really, really frustrating. But it is short, so there's one small saving grace. It's a really cool secret and a fun little challenge, so definitely no complaints here. And number 6 is the secret developer room. Yet another Easter egg you can come across from the top of, guess what? Can you guess it? It's the VNC tower. So to begin, you need to paraglide over to the tower, with the GRE airdrop on it, the one with the parachute hanging off the side. From up here, you just need to find this one power cable box. Doesn't look like there's anything to connect it to, but if you look around, you find this yellow board hanging off a ledge. And if you look down from there, it's possible to fall and land in a room a few doors down. The trick is that you can't go straight to it or you'll just die. Instead, you need to land in a different room that's a little to the side before falling all the way down. Inside, you'll find the place to plug the cable into, as well as another power cable on the other end of the room. You pretty much have to do just what you did the last time again and again. Plug the power cable in the power box you find below, find the final power cable, you fall down to these grassy landings, and the only way to survive that is to grapple onto a lamp as you fall. You do it twice, you connect the final cable, that opens up this door beside it, which leads to a developer room. So inside there's posters for other games that Techland's developed, a bunch of developer in-jokes, and a couple of secret blueprints. One you get for sitting in 4 different spots around the room, and one for sitting a very long time in this room with teddy bears that slowly fills up with teleporting teddy bears. It's weird, it's hard to explain, but you can see what I'm talking about, right? Sitting in all the chairs gives you a blueprint that builds a charm that repairs any weapon, while the teddy bear room gets you the left finger of Glova, a ridiculous weapon that lets you kill enemies with the power of the finger gun, which is also related to a secret weapon from the first Dying Light. The blueprints are just the icing on the cake though, because even on its own, the developer room is just a great secret that's kind of tough to find, but not impossible, and the room itself is just wall-to-wall developer in-jokes and nostalgia. And number 5 is a dancing zombie Easter egg, a weird one to be clear, but one that's not on the VNC tower. If that matters to you, it doesn't really matter to me. In Old Villa Court, near the top of the map, you can find a soccer field and a ball sitting in front of a goal. Kick the ball into the goal, and for some reason, this weird effect will occur and the ball's gonna disappear. That seems like it, right? At this point, seems like there's not really anything else to do, but if you leave and come back, the ball will reappear, so you kick it into the goal again. Now, all you gotta do is leave, come back, keep doing the same thing, and it takes around 9 goals and an Easter egg triggers, and it is really dumb, like a really, really dumb Easter egg. A zombie appears and does a little dance, and that's all. That's it. It's just bizarre, silly, not useful, fun, but good dancing? Nah, no. At number 4, there's some pretty obvious Resident Evil references. During the big VNC tower mission, one of the peacekeepers you try to rescue is named Leon, and he wants you to find another one of his teammates named Chris, like Leon S. Kennedy and Chris Redfield, 2 of the main dudes from Resident Evil. I am not sure why they decided to include a reference to another game in the middle of a big climactic mission, but that's Techland for you. It can kind of take a little bit of the drama out of the situation when the guy you're trying to save is named Leon and looks like Leon from Resident Evil, and he's begging you to save his buddy Chris before he dies. But it's still a funny little Easter egg. Great reference. And just to make it totally obvious, you can get Chris's dog tags and it literally just says the guy's name is Chris Redfield. So it's definitely a Resident Evil Easter egg. It's a smaller, maybe less crazy secret compared to the other ones on this list, but it's so obvious we had to mention it. And number 3 is a space chicken Easter egg. Yeah, I said space chicken. It's one that's accessible only after you beat the game. One of the final missions has you infiltrate the stronghold of the Renegades, and after beating the game, it's possible to return. When you return and look around, you can find a door that was previously locked, and if you go through it, down this long series of hallways, you can find a hidden room containing a chicken in a birdcage. So this is already pretty weird, but it gets weirder. You can actually talk to the chicken, and while it only speaks in clucks, there is entirely new dialogue for Aiden where he acts confused as if something is supposed to be happening. The chicken actually explains that he's the cause of the zombie outbreak. The Galactic Federation wanted to stop mankind from destroying the Earth, so they released the virus. After causing the end of the world, the chicken is now stuck on Earth and needs your help to escape. This starts the Space Cock mission. Don't get to say that word much on this channel. Where you need to find the chicken's UFO, which looks like an old car with rockets strapped to the sides, and then you get a part so they can teleport away. It's as strange as it sounds every step of the way. Aiden is not the only one confused here. Anyway, when the chicken goes, it leaves behind a blueprint for the Pan of Doom, a dumb secret throwing weapon that costs way too much to build. It's so ridiculous at every point, step, just every turn. It's so silly, but it is a great secret. And number 2 is the secret pentagram. After beating the VNC mission, it's possible to return to the basement and find a previously locked door that's now partly open. You go inside, you find an elevator, and it leads you to a mysterious location that looks like a place to perform a ritual. You can't actually do anything there though at first. The only way to complete the ritual is to gather 5 black rubber ducks hidden around the city. Rubber ducks. Yeah, seriously, these things are hidden in some of the most remote parts of the game, so trying to find them all is practically impossible by yourself, but if you do manage to get them, you can place them on the 5 altars around the room, and that restores power. So then you connect the cables to form a pentagram, and the ritual is complete. It unlocks a floating shotgun that you can interact with to begin a combat challenge that sends you into a classic Doom-like arena where you can blast zombies with the shotgun. It's a big love letter to Doom. Pentagram, get it? You know? Honestly, shout out to the Dying Light Reddit for finding all these things. There's no way we would have been able to hunt them down. And finally, at number 1, the secret red ducks. Yeah, these Easter eggs, they sound very silly, don't they? It's because they are. This is a game with so many secrets that it has more than one color of secret duck. The red ducks are a little easier to find compared to the black ones, but they're still pretty obscure, and instead of collecting just 5 of them, you need 10 to complete the Easter egg. The reward's not that impressive either. Instead of a crazy Doom level, you get to ride bikes around the city. At least that's what people are speculating. Some people online have managed to cheat and unlock the ability to ride bikes, so we know it's possible. And whenever you pick up a red duck, it makes a bicycle ring sound, so it's probably that these are connected things. The reward's not quite as impressive. It's still a pretty fun secret that gives you a new way of getting around though. So we've actually got some fun little bonus ones here for you as well. There's some Dead Island Easter egg. One of the earliest Easter eggs is found in the party house at the beginning of the game. Inside you can find a record for Who Do You Voodoo, and Aiden can look at it and say,
"Who do you voodoo?" Sounds familiar.
The reason it sounds familiar is a song that played during the opening of Dead Island, The Part in the Club. For anyone who played the game multiple times, the song's probably seared into your memory, and Techland mentioning it here is a fun callback. Also, during this whole prologue section, you look out at the river, you might notice a tiny little island with a single palm tree on it. It's actually a reference to the Dead Island logo, which showed a little palm tree as part of the name. The next one on the list is a little bit of a smaller one. You probably see why it's a bonus pretty much immediately, but if you wait long enough at the party house in the beginning of the game, your companion starts playing the Dying Light 2 theme on the piano, which is a nice little flourish. Finally, there's an office Easter egg on Culvert Island. You can find this little note pinned to a wall. It's from someone looking for a stapler, which you'll probably recognize as a reference to both Office Space and The Office. The note itself is signed Dwight Kurt S. III, so Dwight Schrute from The Office. And then, of course, there's the "Have you seen my stapler" guy from Office Space. Not that there wasn't a fair amount of stapler hijinks in The Office as well. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.